Wow. Look at this. I'm about to trade this boy, this worm, for a fish. I have had this worm since the very first scene of this entire game. For some reason, I have kept this worm for this entire game. That only makes sense on a comedic level. There's no way that makes logical sense why I would keep a worm for this entire game. On the off chance that I would use it now, trading it for a fish. That's insane. And if I recall correctly, there was never a hard wall at that part in the game, the very beginning, that forced me to get this worm. But of course, I never tried to continue with the story without the worm, and so I don't know. There might have been one at some point, because now I can't go. I wouldn't be able to go back all the way to the beginning to that point in the game, or to the location where it happened. I wouldn't even be able to go back there. So I wonder if I had not picked up the worm, would there be another alternative? I offered him some panties, and obviously he said no, because it's clearly this worm.
Is this worm worth a fish?
Could be good bit. How did it die?
I think it drowned in tequila.
Just like my Uncle Gabriel. Yeah, I'll have that. Okay, I'll get you a fish. It might take a while though.
I could have loaded the cat into the inner tube and launched it out to sea. Catapult. Get it? Oh, Stobart, you kill me sometimes.
Here's something that I'm clueless about. Now this is more developing than it is designing, but I gave this kid a worm to catch me a fish, and then he said okay, but it might take a while. And it did. It actually took time. I had to walk around for a little bit. And so there was a time when it was a timed event. I had to wait a certain amount of time before I could engage in conversation with this kid again. How did they do that? I don't know how they do that. So somehow there's code that is triggered once I finish once I give this kid the fish, the worm, and the next event will not happen for a certain amount of time. I wonder what that code is. Yeah, I have no idea. Some type of code that triggers an action after a certain amount of time. I know like a code that triggers an action every, like a loop. I know a loop triggers an action every certain amount of seconds, but that's like continuous. Is there a way to do a loop but doesn't loop? It's just one circular motion. It's just one time, one duration of time, and that's it. And then check this out. This type of event,
part of the bicycle, you just never know.
Look what this kid does to the fish. This seems so old school, like hardcore, before people were afraid of groups like PETA. Check it out.
There's a fish, my man.
I can't put it in my pocket while it's flapping about like that.
No problem.
Whack! As he's about to vomit. I mean, are you serious? God, George Stobart, you're a weak tummied man. He almost vomits by seeing a fish being whacked against, if his guts spurt out or something. But yeah, like that type of thing, it just seems like maybe the region in which this game was made, organizations like PETA have no control, they don't exist or something. But it just seems so raw and hardcore. I like it. It feels like I'm back in Mexico, or because like that type of stuff just happens. Or when I went to Ecuador, you go to the store and say, "Can I have a chicken?" And they just grab the chicken. Even in just so many countries, they just grab the chicken, chop the head off, whack it a little bit, and then give you the chicken. It's like intense. That type of raw life. I really miss that. You don't get that here in America.
I couldn't reach the flagpole, and a bush stopped me from moving the ladder across.
Are you serious? A bush? A bush stops you. Designers can do much better than that. A bush would never stop anybody if what they needed to do was reach this flagpole. Never! A metal grate or a spiky fence or a crazy person on fire would stop you. But not a bush. Even a bush on fire would be better than just a bush. Here I'm gonna show you two things with code that I know I'll have to understand before I can make a proper point-and-click adventure game. One is every character has, especially NPCs, they have set animation sequences that they perform on a loop, it seems, that you can't interrupt. And so even when you go to engage them, the game must wait for that animation sequence to end before any further event can happen. And then also there's a predetermined spot where the character walks to when you go to engage a character. And if that predetermined spot changes, then the character has to go to the other predetermined spot. So for example, I want to talk to this person. If this person moves when I try to talk to him, then I'll move too. Check this out. It'll probably happen here. So I'm going to the predetermined spot. Shit. Didn't work. I'll try it again. Here I'm going to show this guy has like a preset action sequence. So I'll try to engage him in something. I have to wait till he's done. See?
He wouldn't have wanted that. Catch you later, Brian.
Again, have to wait till he's done. He has to write that first, write that first.
He wouldn't have wanted that.
See, that's like this. That's the preset action sequence. Now I'm going to try and engage this guy while he is standing over here, but he most likely will move before I get there. So, try to engage him. I'm walking over to the predetermined spot. I walk there. Oh shoot, he's gone! So I walk back to the other predetermined spot. Really slow this time. Oh, there he is!
Catch you later,
So I'm really curious what the code is for that. So there's two spots that are designated where you go on this map when you want to talk to this character. So how does the code know to tell me first to go to this one, and if the character's not there, to go to here? What is the... That definitely must have been a bug that they discovered accidentally. Like, oh, if he moves while we're moving towards the predetermined spot where we engage conversation with him, the game either crashed or something, and so they're like, oh shoot, how do we fix that? Well, then we have to write some more code that tells this character to divert to the other location where he is. That's what I think, and I wonder how they do that. I go through this insanely elaborate scheme to take this ball from this goddamn cat, only to not know what I'm supposed to do with it. I knew I wanted the ball from the cat, but I have no idea what I'm supposed to do with this ball. Now, I would want to somehow take it away from this thing, get this ball off, but still, what I want to do is get inside the goddamn house, because that's where this next, the other stone is that I need. The doors are locked. Obviously, the most efficient way would be throw this coal through the window,
No,
but
I couldn't just go around throwing things at other people's windows.
So I'm just stuck. There hasn't been enough communication from the game to tell me what to do. So I don't know what to do. I can't. These bushes are in the way. But since I can't interact with the bushes, there's nothing I can do about them. Just completely lost. Once again, victim of the pixel hunt. I've been stuck here fiddling with this forever. And then out of nowhere, oh, there's a tree I can access. And this is going to be the key to solving my predicament. Just wait.
I couldn't think of any reason to climb the tree. A large tree stood beside the house with a suggestive U formed by the branches.
Watch me solve this puzzle only because I had a hard time finding that thing in all of this.
It wasn't so
in all of this. Just, that's one frustrating thing. But, you gotta deal with it. It's part of the game. It's part of the game. Watch me tie this inner tube to the tree. I'm gonna throw the ball. I'm gonna throw the ball and it's gonna hit this thing off. Now look how ridiculous this is, okay? Look at me try to do it without using the inner tube, okay?
Nah, I didn't have the throwing strength to knock the marker off.
I don't have the throwing strength to knock a marker off, but I have the accuracy to knock it off with this, from this distance, with this makeshift slingshot. That's how amazing this is.
In the catapult. Took aim. Yes! Okay, so it was a lucky shot, but I'd knocked the theodolite target clean off the end of the flagpole.
A miracle. A miracle. Oh, shit's coming. Someone's gonna be pissed. What's he gonna say? So here I am in this new scenario. He's up in the freaking tree. I mean the pole. But still, how is this leading me into the house? So far all I've done is piss this guy off. He's just pissed to shit at me now. He wants to kill me while I stand casually next to him. But I am nowhere near getting inside the house. Really curious how this whole storyline eventually gets me into the house.
Disentangle! Eject!
Hey, cut that out, you crazy old bat!
How dare you! Mina isn't crazy, she's just engagingly eccentric.
Yeah, as a bedbug. Ouch!
Lovely as this little vista is, I'd be really grateful if you could let me into the museum now.
So there we go.
Young man, we are most grateful to you for exposing this scoundrel, Mina the Lock.
I had no clue that was the way I was getting into this hotel until right now.
Thanks, ladies.
Stobart, be a pal. Get these harpies off me. Ooh.
Interesting. I got into the museum by exposing this douche and what he was planning on actually doing with this hotel, turning in